Welcome, brothers and sisters, to today's Morning Heart Devotion. And to start, we'd like to offer a greeting to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천징 참부님께 경배! 바로! And to lead us into the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천혜의극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천혜의극 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Milhan. And to open us up in prayer, I'd like to invite out Mrs. Keiko Foss. So Mrs. Keiko Foss, if you can please unmute and offer your prayer.
Okay, please join me in prayer. 사랑하는 하늘 부모님, 존진 참부모님, 대단히 감사합니다. Good morning, Heavenly Parent, true parent of heaven and earth and mankind. We are so grateful to be alive. We have a physical body to feel with 5 senses that we can relate to each other on this physical world. Everything we have experienced on this earth, we can take with us in the eternal spiritual world where we start a second life. Each day is a chombo training in our faith in life. Live for sake of others. Think first, Heavenly Parents, what Heavenly Parents feels this morning, and how true Mother is feeling this morning. We want to set our priorities straight, to unite, make a straight alignment with the true Mother right now. Last night we could watch the Think Tank 2022. The keynote speaker was Pastor Paula White. She gave such a profound message. Her heart is completely fall in love with the true mother. She wants to go to North Korea when she's going to visit the next time, maybe February. We are so grateful. We feel so much great hope that those wonderful female mega church pastors stand strongly with a firm faith to testify true mother is only begotten daughter, and working so hard to bring unification of North and South Korea Peninsula will be substantiated very, very soon, that we believe that the true mother is creating heavenly tide, heavenly wave to really make things happen, that the North and South has to be united. The family is separated for too long, so long that the physical family is separated. That shouldn't be the way so long. We want to really, really pray for the smooth unification of North and South Korea Peninsula. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parent. You send us Dr. Yong on this Elder Sun Nation America. The time was such a perfect timing that we were so frozen. We didn't know which direction to take. We didn't know how to do in-reach, outreach. Our heart was totally frozen and so dry out. And if we have a little more time for each other, if we have a little more love for each other, we could bring this movement more blossom, more higher level. But we are so busy with our daily our life, raising children, grandchildren, and future leaders. We repent so deeply, Heavenly Parent, our lack of love, our lack of understanding you. Ignorance is such a sinful thing. We are the sinner of sinners, Heavenly Parent. We come to understand through Dr. Yong's nourishing such a morning devotion. After 400 times we attended, we are completely transformed. We are so revived inside and outside, and we can really unite whatever the true mother is going to do. And we can really carry each other, holding hand each other, and fly high with the true mother to see the substantiation of the Chonil-guk on this earth and heaven. Thank you so much for wonderful blessing each morning, and so grateful to be alive at this time, golden age, living with the true mother. And wonderful leader Dr. Yong, and all President Naoki Mushiroda, and Reverend Milhan Stephen, and Joshua Holmes, and all the second chance, strong faith, and we feel so much hope. Thank you so much for all your blessing. I sincerely offer this prayer in the name of John and Keiko Force and the eternally blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Adieu. Wow. Thank you, Keiko Force-san, for your really heartfelt prayer. 감사합니다. I'm moved by your prayer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keiko-san, for that beautiful prayer. And now, brothers and sisters, let us take this time to share our appreciation and gratitude points with one another. And so if you're prompted to join a breakout room, please join. And if you're joining here alone, please take this time to reflect and write it down. And so let us go into our breakouts. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a wonderful time sharing your appreciation and gratitude to one another. And to share with the whole community first, I'd like to invite out Mrs. Marie Mylar. So Mrs. Mylar, if you can please unmute and share your gratitude points.
Good morning, everyone. Well, when Yasu saw me, he said, okay, how was it last week? Well, last week I was in Clifton, New Jersey, and I was with John Ebosset, and we were teaching parents and potentially new matching supporters. And there was about 50 people there.
Wow.
I think it was very good. It was very good because, well, John can teach, with his eyes closed. He knows the subject very well. And for once, I was a very good second and supporting him well. And the parents were truly wanting to learn. They had that position where they want to learn. And we know from being matching supporters for several years that parents are scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to guide their children. They want to guide their children, but they don't know how. And sometimes they don't ask. So they were there, and I think it was a very good meeting for today's. And we are going to keep track of these people. I'm not going to let them go. I'm going to bother them all the time to make sure that they do what they are supposed to do. I send email specifically to each person. Like, for example, there were several pastors that were there simply to get educated, which is very important. The pastor needs to know exactly everything about matching and blessing, even if they are not matching support. So they were there to be educated. So I sent emails specifically to them, then specifically to the parents, then specifically to those who became new matching supporters. And we are here together. We can't do it alone. So we have to support one another. And I can't do everything, but I can do that. And therefore, I really want to be there for them. And anytime they have a question, they know they can reach me.
Wow. Thank you, Marie Mylar. You are really doing great job as a matching supporter. Wow. Thank you so much for your hard work. 감사합니다. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you, Mrs. Mylar. And I'm sure all those people who you're emailing feel very supported. So that's very empowering and encouraging. And next, to share with the whole community, I'd like to invite out Mrs. Tomoko Tariq. So Tomoko-san, if you can please unmute and share.
Hi, good morning. Are you able to hear me?
Tomoko-san.
Yes, my name is Tomoko. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Nice to see you. My appreciation shared with Reverend Milhan is I'm very grateful for this morning heart devotion and Dr. Yong and all the staff to make it happen. I started attending Zoom around Thanksgiving time because I'm usually going work. So I'm a little bit scared by Zoom. So I hesitated. But I'm very appreciated. I feel change. And the difference in my life. And after sharing with brothers and sisters, and then going my work, and I feel difference. I can keep going all day very well. And then weekday I leave after listening to sharing. I'm going work, so I'm listening recording after that. And weekend I can attend whole thing. So I'm very appreciated. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tomoko Tariq. Yeah, I think do not hesitate to show up your face. We are brothers and sisters. We are children of God. Just treat each other, as a family members, as a brothers and sisters. No problem. Just if we have that kind of treat each other as a family member, become very natural. Thank you so much, Tomoko Tariq. 감사합니다. 네.
Thank you so much for such a sweet sharing, Tomoko-san. And we hope to see you more on Zoom. And so, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for really sharing your appreciation with one another and uplifting the spirit. Now let us prepare and our hearts and mind to be able to welcome our Continental Director, Dr. Yong, and his internal guidance. So welcome, Dr. Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace. 안녕하십니까? Today is a very, very special day. Our blessing festival. Thank you so much for your hard work and investment and devotion and contribution. So let's really focus on watch party, and through watch party, we need to connect so many brothers and sisters and continuously and follow up for them to become really children of God and our true parents. And today, I'd like to talk about the family foundation to send the only begotten daughter from True Mother's Anthology 1. So I'd like to invite Heavenly Honey to read. Please.
The family foundation to send the only begotten daughter. The grave of Jo Won Mo is at the Paju Wonjeon. She is my maternal grandmother. Heaven's providence made preparations for a long time to send the returning Messiah to the Korean peninsula. The history of Christianity in Korea is short, but different from other Christians who were expecting Jesus to return on the clouds, were the spirit-led Christian groups in Korea who were preparing and waiting for the returning Messiah to come in the flesh. According to Father, the mother of the universe must come from a family with only one daughter for 3 generations. Grandmother Jo is my maternal grandmother and was the only daughter. Daimonim was also the only daughter, and I was also an only daughter. What is quite profound and intriguing was that when Father first saw me, he asked, "What is your name?" After I gave him my name, he suddenly closed his eyes and said, "I offer my gratitude to heaven for making a girl like this be born in Korea." At the time of my holy wedding in 1960, Grandmother Jo ascended. However, she passed away knowing whom I would marry. Fallen people desire to meet true parents. Though Jesus died on the cross 2,000 years ago, the position of the only begotten Son remained. However, the only begotten daughter had not emerged. God could not enter the nation of Israel, which had failed in its responsibility and did not use it again. If he had, it would have created grounds for Satan's accusation. Because of that, heaven had no choice but to pick another nation of people to establish a foundation for his only begotten daughter. He chose the Han people. Through the Republic of Korea, the 2,000 years of Christian history has been to prepare for the only begotten daughter. The returning Lord must meet the only begotten daughter. The only begotten daughter is True Mother, born in 1943. The only begotten daughter has to be born on the Christian foundation because providential history unfolded in that direction. Daimonim fulfilled a central role in a religious group that offered immense devotion in order to prepare for the returning Lord. She protected and educated well the only begotten daughter and offered devotion for Mother to take part in the marriage supper of the Lamb to establish the true parents. She also led an exemplary life of serving true parents in front of blessed members and other church members. Even after she went to the spirit world, she was able to carry out her role in lieu of true parents. So she was named Daimonim, Great Mother. She is an indispensable person to all fallen people. From that viewpoint, all of you are fortunate. In Jesus' time, 2,000 years ago, no such environment existed, and there was no protective fence for Jesus. However, if you look at the history of Champyong today, Daemonim displayed absolute faith, love, and obedience in the position of being one heart, one body, one mindset, and one harmony with true parents. Though she was in the spirit world, she prepared for true Father's ascension in the real world, which nobody had ever imagined or thought of doing. This was not something that could have been done by just anybody.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. True Mother said that Daemonim has fulfilled her own portion of responsibilities. Wow. Recognized by True Mother. About the Daemonim's role. Then let's take the time to learn more about Daemonim. So, Heavenly Honey, please read.
Hong Sun-ae Daemonim, who was born as the only daughter among the two children of teacher Hong Yul-il and Mrs. Jo-won-mo, was the person who left the greatest achievements in the history of the providence of restoration and lived a life of sacrifice for true parents' providential course. She attended the Presbyterian Church until the age of 19, when she attended a revival meeting by Reverend Yong, pastor of the New Jesus Church, and received 3 days of grace. Then she left Anju and would walk 20 or 30 miles each day to witness about the gospel to villagers all the way to Shinweiju. Daemonim's wedding was more than humanistic, for she received a revelation from heaven. Rejoice, if your baby is a boy, he will become the king of the universe. And if a girl, she will become the queen of the universe. Even after this, grandmother Jo-won-mo and Hong Sun-ae Daemonim pursue the Holy Spirit and truth to meet the second coming Messiah without compromising with the world, serving 24 hours in front of heaven. After she finally met true Father, the second coming Messiah, and the holy wedding took place in 1960, she devoted all her heart to true parents, risking her life to serve true parents and continuing a fierce spiritual battle with Satan, devoting all her heart to a life of prayer for the 3 generations of true family. In order to prevent Satan from taking advantage, she said she lived by these 5 life principles.
Yes, she said she lived by these 5 life principles. It is very, very beautiful. So let's start, okay?
Number 1, in the first hour you wake up from sleep, look up at heaven with a pure, thoughtful heart. 2, when returning home, leave a seat for our parent and then sit down. 3, know the direction to hang clothes and leave a space for our parent to hang their clothes. 4, even when you lie down on your back, always being careful. 5, say 1 good thing each day and make the people you live with feel good.
Wow. Looks like very simple, but very, very pure. We can feel that her incredible attendance, right? So always think about God, always think about true parents. How attend them? How care of them? Such a humble heart and mind, and also not just only attending God and true parents, at the same time, how to make happy for the sake of others. Indeed, Hong Daemonim was a cosmic model for serving God, and true parents. 홍대모님 fulfill her role of nanny very, very thoroughly in raising true mother. So we also, like 홍대모님, have to play the role of the nanny before our children. We must teach our children that your parents is God, and your parents are true parents, and that we are only your nanny. Is the Alex mentioned about, nanny, granny. We have to go beyond the heart of the controlling our children and serve them as prince and princesses. Very, very important. We can learn so many things actually from 홍대모님, how she raised up our true mother. She really did her job as a nanny position, and truly and sincerely attend her daughter true mother, and always keep on educating. Your father is God. Your father is God. You need to attend him. Your real father is God. Wow. This kind of beautiful, education. And then when true mother married true father, and then really our 홍대모님, she becomes the servant of a servant and attend our true parents substantially. When she passed away and go to spiritual world and come down again and work so seriously, centering on 청편, through the fun모님. Can you imagine about that? I was also one thing, I'm so inspired. Later on, I heard the news that our 홍대모님, she knew that already through father not live a long life. That's why she hurry up to build, our Chongqing Peace World Center very, very quickly. Hurry up. And then just completed, we knew that we need to prepare our true father's songhwa. Wow. I am telling you another many, many beautiful story. I cannot reveal now how she prepared for father's songhwa and also future true mother's songhwa. I cannot tell you now how she prepared so seriously. It is really incredible, 홍대모님. We are very much lucky. We have 홍대모님. How much she laid an incredible foundation for us to liberate our ancestors. Is it? This is really, we need to really appreciate 홍대모님. Living divine principle. Okay, please, Heavenly Honey, read.
God is the subject and harmonious union of original internal nature and original external form, the harmonious union of original masculinity and original femininity, the subject partner having qualities of internal nature and masculinity towards the universe.
Yes, today in the series of lectures on who God is, I will tell you that God is a God of sorrow, almost like this is second last series lecture. Who God is a God of sorrow. So based on this content, let's study Father's Word.
God is a God of sorrow. The people living today are not God's sons and daughters. No matter how much God grieves, we do not care about his pain. The problem is we were born into Satan's lineage. We are rather more likely to see God's sorrow and commend it. We view the failures with joy and laughter. How much work is it for God to guide such people, to teach them, to reclaim them, and head them in the right direction? If God did not have a heart to work for us, did not have a heart to view us with pity, would he have pursued the history of restoration up until now?
Yeah. My brothers and sisters, the greatest secret among the secrets of God's providence and history is the fact that God is not a God of glory and joy, but a God who weeps over the loss of his children. So far, many saints have come and gone, but no one but true parents has revealed that God is a God of sorrow. So the father said that it was only after he realized that God was the most miserable and sad God that he came to know the will and walk the path that he could not get tired of, and then he could not give up. That is the Father's sharing. Since he came to know God is a God of the sorrow, he cannot give up. He cannot be tired. No matter what, need to keep going. Wow. You look at Father's face now here. You know, when he leading his own ministry in earlier church in Korea, always crying and crying and crying and crying. Those who are participate through Father's sermon, they also crying and crying and crying. That's why many outside people, they call our church name Crying Church. Some, spiritual group received some revelation. How do you meet the Messiah? Maybe you someday can hear the nickname of that church is Crying Church. If you find out the Crying Church, definitely you will meet the Messiah. Our Father, he is the one who knows God's inner situation, his sorrowful heart. A person who has the faith of the stubborn or unfilial child has no tears for his parents. This is because they have different levels of heart. They cannot communicate with each other well. However, when the filial child sees his pitiful parents, there's no way to stop the tears in his eyes. To know whether you are of God or Satan's lineage, check whether God's tears are always in your eyes. You don't have God's tears in your eyes. There is a lot of gap between God and yourself, still far away to go. Satan's lineage has no tears. Satan's lineage has no idea of other people's circumstances. Satan's lineage only knows one's own circumstances. Satan's lineage curse and reject others so easily. Satan's lineage blames everything on others. That's why always I reflect on myself. Do I have God's tears in my eyes? Always I ask to myself, how much do I understand? God is a God of sorrow. When I look at Father, he's the one who truly understands God's reality. You look at our true mother, whenever she shares her word, always tears come down. Because of Father and Mother, they are the one who truly understand who is God. That's why this is a top secret. Only through Father reveal the secret, who is God. Continue.
You must understand that for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years, God has been crying out, my son, my daughter. Have you tried calling out to God, Father, until your voice becomes hoarse? Have you tried calling sincerely, calling out, Father, until your tongue is dry, until you are short of breath, until you are so exhausted you cannot keep your eyes open? How desperately have you tried to understand the value of the one who gave us our very life? The measure of how desperately you have tried for God is a measure of the standard of your character.
Yes, thank you, Heavenly Honey. God is a God of sorrow. Just now, Father talking about the measure of how desperately you have tried for God is a measure of the standard of your character. Father said, how much have you been crying out for God? How much? How often? Because God, He's the one who is always crying out for me. When Adam and Eve fell at the Eden of garden, and then God is calling out, hey, Adam, Adam, where are you now? Adam, Eve, where are you now? Even now, Father calling to each one of the human beings, you're supposed to go this way. You're supposed to go that way. Adam, where are you now? Hey, my daughter, what are you doing? Where are you now? And much God is crying out for me. Then as a child, how much have you been crying out for God? Father said, that is a measure of the standard of our character. How much have you tried calling out to God? God, so what I know, you are my God. What I know, you are my father and mother. You are my parents, Heavenly Father. I truly want to be your son and your daughter, Heavenly Father. I am struggling, God, what to do? How much have you tried calling out to God? How many times did your voice become hoarse for God? Because since true Father knows who is God, and he calling out and crying out for God, and then he's shouting, and then his voice is no more come out, and then become hoarse, cannot pronounce how much he cry out. Anyway, this is the reality, my brothers and sisters. This is the reality. How much have you tried sincerely calling out, Father, until your tongue is dry, until you are short of breath, until you're so exhausted you cannot keep your eyes open? Wow. How much desperately have you tried to understand the value of the one who gave us our very life? My brothers and sisters, who is God? God is your daddy. Your daddy reality is like that. What to do? How many of them knows this reality? How many of human beings really notice reality? Even though so many saints and saints has come and gone. But nobody talk about God's sorrow. Even Jesus, maybe he knew, but he could not express. Continue.
How miserable has God's inner heart been watching humankind as they lost the value of the life that they were endowed with at creation and began living instead a struggling, worthless life, barely better than the lowest of creatures. How excruciating is it for God to watch us, who were meant to become his direct descendants through his love, his life, and his lineage, and occupy the kingdom of heaven, now become part of such a sorry lineage, wearing the mask of the defeated, moaning and groaning in suffering, sighing in despair, and living lives filled with struggling.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. How did the all-powerful God becomes such a miserable God because of the fall of man? Also think about how human beings have fallen to the place of hell, amongst the unimaginable hell. This is a fact that cannot be denied no matter how hard you try. Continue.
We have not realized what a sorrowful God our God has been. Because of this, since I have come to know God's heart, I have lamented and cried every day, every week. You need to understand what kind of deep beginnings the Unification Church came from.
Until now, has there ever been an individual and family church or nation crying for God? You know, an individual, no individual crying for God, no family crying for God, no church crying for God, no nation crying for God. Wow, there is a whole lot of gap between God and ourselves. Those who have never truly cried for God say that the distance between God's heart and then theirs is too far. So that is our really challenging. However, our true parent, first time throughout human history, first time he revealed God's soul. So we need to understand more God's inner situation, his reality. God is a God of soul. And today's youth ministry and Moses and the cause of faith, today I'd like to talk based upon what we can learn from Moses' verse. It is easy to think of Moses as limited to just an individual while studying Moses' course. Moses is Moses, and Abraham is Abraham, and Isaac is Isaac. It not much relate to my life of faith. We cannot think like that. The Bible's words are all relate to the content of the principle of creation, not just only symbolic, very much relate to principle of creation, even though very much symbolic content, but everything relate to principle of creation. Biblical parables and miracles and all life courses should be thought of as a content based on the principle of creation. Moses coming out of the water can be interpreted as created by the word. If water is symbolic, then the words are internal, 성상. So if I have a dream where I fell into muddy water or a car sprayed muddy water on me while passing by, suggests in advance that something will happen to me. God often teaches fallen humans in symbols. rather than directly. In particular, he educates us through dreams and presents a direction for us to go. Being hit by muddy water in a dream teaches me that worry, confusion, and anxiety will come to me. Dreaming of taking the bath in clear water means that my mind has become clean after hearing new words. So if you listen to the word of the principle, you can see yourself taking a bath in clear water. It shows that my spirit was happy to hear the words of the principle. When my mind is disoriented and going into 2 or 3 directions, and when order is broken or the order of thinking is wrong, we are shown confusion or cloudy water through our dreams. Cloudy water symbolizes chaos. Clear water appears when the spiritual order of my mind is in order, and cloudy water appears when the mind is frustrated and the way of the thinking is somehow wrong and cloudy. The great thing about Moses' mother was that her mind was very clean and refined. Her blood was clean because she always loved heaven. In this way, if a woman's blood is clean, her descendants' character is good. Again, I'm talking about woman's faith. I'm talking about woman's quality of, her blood. Very, very important. Woman is the center of love in the family. Most of the children living together with a mother. I really respect Moses' mother. How come she raised up so well Moses under that kind of environment? It is really incredible. The ocean usually symbolizes the mother. Water symbolizes both the word and the mother. The word can also be seen as playing the role of the mother because they give life. When the word and the Holy Spirit form, a reciprocity and revive my spirit, the words become the subject and the Holy Spirit become the object. The words can be a mother or a father, depending on their position. When a man and woman form a reciprocal relationship and become one in love, the man can stand in the woman's position and the woman can stand in the man's position. This phenomenon occurs when they are united with each other. If the subject and object form a circular motion, they can change positions. This is because there is a male characteristic in a woman's personality and a female characteristics in a man's personality. Adam and Eve create as a one man and one woman play dual roles because they are the substantial objects of God's internal nature and external form. Since God is the harmonious union of internal nature and external form, he sometimes plays the role of the father and sometimes of a mother. This is very important. I am telling you, my brothers and sisters. Let me explain more detail here. For example, a mother acts as a father to her daughter and as a mother to her son because she becomes a mediator of love when she gives birth to a child. People should have two sides, internally and externally. Sometimes a father's role, sometimes a mother's role. Depend on other person's position. I have to play my role very, very well. Therefore, you should be a person who always has two sides, an internal and external. However, there are many biased people who stick to their own position. Many people who have lost their well-roundedness and are heartless and harsh. The more people are like this, the less communication is possible. This is very important, my brothers and sisters, as a mediator. Moses, mother, how raise up the Moses. Sometimes my brothers and sisters, to create beautiful relationship between husband and wife. Father said, well, who is the ideal wife toward your husband? Sometimes have to become, the mother's position in front of your husband. Sometimes the wife's position, sometimes the eldest daughter's position, sometimes the younger sister's position, according to husband's mood and situation. Sometimes you need to become mother. Sometimes you need to become wife. Sometimes you become really daughter position, elder daughter position. According to situation, need to adjust well. Oh, hey, my husband, why today? Why become like a baby? And these stupid things he's doing. Do not think like that. If husband looks like a, kind of the, baby position, and embrace him as a mother. Embrace him. Sometimes a man want to become like a boy, small boy in front of a wife. Then, my husband needs mother's love. Then embrace him as a mother. Do not fix your position. I am his wife. I am his wife. I am his her husband. Do not fix the position. Your position need to sometimes going up and going down. You need to adjust according to your spouse's situation and mood. Do not fix your position. Sometimes you need to do, toward your children, sometimes a father's role and mother's role, sometimes grandparents' role. Sometimes you need to become friend with your children. Oh, I am father, you need to respect me. You need to respect my dignity. Never come down. Sometimes you have to become good friend with your children and talk each other. Anything can share and can listen music together, watching TV together. Sometimes a horizontal talk, become friend. But if you fix the position, I am your daddy, especially Korean people. I am your daddy. I cannot do like this. And keep just only external dignity. It does not work. Then no communication. No communication. That's why, your spouse sometimes have to become beautiful boyfriend and girlfriend, become good mother position, good father position, good husband position, good wife position, sometimes a younger sister's position, younger daughter's position, and the elder son's position. How beautiful. This is centering on 4-position foundation. And then sometimes going up and going down, become horizontal, sometimes vertical, according to the situation. And then become very much a rounded character. My father, when I did my father, always he keep his external dignity. I am your daddy. He never become my friend. He never become my friend. But however, I'm growing up, he getting old, and then we became friends. And he talked to me many, many, many things. To be a person with a smooth human relationship, you have to be harmonious depending on the other person. If I feel bad according to the other person's personality, if only my personality get worse and there is no benefit, in the end, all the damage come to me, my brothers and sisters. That's why really you have to become like a mediator position. Between parents and children, between husband and between anyone. Even if the other person acts out badly, the recipient must receive it very, very well and protect themselves well so that their spirit does not get hurt. When I stand against the other person, my spirit gets down, gets hurt. If you are treated badly by others, you should look at yourself and reflect on what it happened. If you treat someone else's sin as your own, your spirit will be protected and both sides will be protected as well. That's why important thing is how to protect your soul, how to protect your spirit. No matter any kind of situation, do not go up and do not go down, up and down, up and down. And according to the environment situation, your mood is always changeable here and there, then become problem in no matter what. Even you can see ocean wave externally, so surface, sometimes, the wave very high, sometimes it come down, but the bottom of the ocean always calm. Always calm. Keep standard. You should not, under any circumstances, look back at the other person to protect your soul. Because you look at other person badly, the standard of your heart will surely go down. You try to see someone's weak point, and then your spirit is never going up, surely go down. Therefore, when you see the bad behavior of the other person, you should think that his sin is yours. You have to maintain the level of respect you have for other person in any situation, and even in situation where you cannot help but be disappointed. When you look up to your opponent, you have to respect them. That's the way your heart is protected. I normally respect this guy, disabled very much, but I can hear that someone say about his bad things, his weak point. In the past, he was like that, this and that, all kind of things to hear. Then your respect immediately disappear, and then do not respect anymore. And your disappointment makes serious problems. That's why, how can I maintain my spirit no matter what? That's why Father said, your sin is my sin. Your problem is my problem. Treat it as my own sin, treat it as my own problem. Then I still can keep my respect towards somebody. If you ignore the other person, it will soon result in ignoring yourself. Also, complaining about your partner hardens and dries out your heart. So don't ignore or complain about it, even for your own sake. The most important thing is to protect your heart and mind. You must protect yourself in any circumstance. In order to do that, you have to live your life very, very well. Moses' mother raised Moses without a father and played the role of the father and mother well. She raised Moses admirably without a father. As a hot nanny, she well educated both sides of the nature of God's father and mother. We too must educate our children so that they can grow internally and externally and smoothly. As you, my brothers and sisters, we can learn from Moses' verse and also Moses' mother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yong, for these incredible guidances that you have given us. And also, just really touching my heart about God's heart of sorrow and always true parents' determination and motivation of continue going because they want to alleviate God's heart. That was really precious. So brothers and sisters, let us take this time to share our insights and any takeaways that we have from this morning heart devotion guidance. And please share in your breakout rooms. And if you're joining here by yourself, please take this time to reflect deeply and write your insights down. So let us go into our breakouts. welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a wonderful time and inspiring each other with your insights and takeaways. And truly, God has inspired me, or I don't know what God is exactly thinking, because in my breakout, I had Mrs. Tomoko Tariq again. And so I'd like to invite Tomoko-san one more time and to share her insights and takeaways.
It's a really unusual case. Wow, great.
Hi. I'm sorry. Second time, same day. Yes, I was in same room with Mr. Yasutaka, and then I shared about my point was true parents' prayer, like he always comforting God, and then his heart, and that made me feel he is a Messiah, and then why I'm staying in this church. By Dr. Yong's word, that reminded me. I was thinking one day. So that was the best takeaway for me, and also the more practical part that I say about. Well, I'm sorry, that's too long. So yes, I'm inspired by Temorim's like 5 principles, and then yes, that's it. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomoko-san. And to share next, I'd like to invite up Mr. Manuel Liba. So Mr. Manuel, if you can please unmute and share.
Yeah, my reflection is I'm so really moved and inspired by Dr. Rev.Chung explains about the story like Jacob, Joseph, and those kind of Bible stories. In a sense, we have kind of like a very general understanding, but more realizing about the dynamics, those relationships, and how God works through those principles of when there's cooperation and when there's really like a very artistic unity, how really history on those foundations is advancing. So that kind of understanding, like more in detail, that's for me very moving. And of course, naturally, you feel like your own life of faith, you feel like, oh, there's a crack here, there's a crack here. So you feel like, oh, I think that I can improve. I can, oh yeah, this one definitely, I think I can do something here better. But it's very beautiful because it really reflects, because history has so painful for God, but in us to understand those kind of details more in depth, it is really how God is opening up his heart more broader to us, so that we as children, I feel like we kind of feel like a base where we can kind of like move closer to each other. But this is kind of like the sense I get from.
Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel Liba. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I can see. I'm so happy to see your beautiful smiling today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manuel Liba. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for reflecting and sharing your takeaways and insights with one another. And of course, don't forget to continue to share this morning heart devotion experience and the links to the Zoom, YouTube, or Facebook to your neighbors and to your family and friends, as more and more people are desperately in need of receiving God's words first thing in the morning through Dr. Yong. And of course, brothers and sisters, if you can turn your attention towards the chat, right now we have the link to the donation page, and your support and your love and offering definitely supports this Morning Heart Devotion ministry. So we very much appreciate your heart of giving. And now, brothers and sisters, we're going to be preparing ourselves to receive the musical offering. And to offer the musical offering, I'd like to invite up Mr. Steve Honey. So Mr. Steve Honey, if you can please unmute and share your offering.
Stephen Honey.
Sorry.
Where
Good morning.
Thank you.
Maybe Dr. Yong could do a musical offering.
I'd like to hear your song.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Yong. Thank you for another inspiring message. Good morning, brothers and sisters. So a week from today is Christmas. And of course, we should be writing songs about the birth of our true parents. But because it's Christmas time, I'd like to sing a song about the birth of Jesus. What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lies he in such mean estate, where ox and lambs are feeding? Good shepherds fear, for sinners hear, the silent word is pleading. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. So bring him incense and gold and myrrh, come peasant king to own him. The King of kings salvation brings, let loving hearts enthrone him. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. This is Christ, our King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. The babe, the Son of Mary.
Wow, Heavenly Honey, husband Steve Honey, I really love your voice. Really, really, I love your voice. I hope I can hear more often your singing. Thank you so much, Steve Honey. Where is Heavenly Honey?
He's in Texas with GPA.
Oh, I see. She's in Texas now, so she cannot kiss you. Okay.
Soon.
Thank you so much, Steve Honey. And then recently when I see Heavenly Honey, she become more thinner and thinner, become more beautiful now. Wow. So I think please love her more. Thank you so much, Steve Honey.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Honey. Heavenly Honey must be on a diet of Steve Honey's love that keeps her looking so young and beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, brothers and sisters. So to be able to close out this incredible morning heart devotion experience in prayer, I'd like to invite up Miss Unmi Rangala to offer the closing prayer. So Unmi, please unmute and pray.
Good morning. Please join me.
Oh, Unmi, are you able to unmute this?
Yeah, please join me in prayer. Our dear most beloved Heavenly Parent, the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, Jesus in the spirit world, we are really grateful for this wonderful day you've given unto us. We thank you so much for your love, your guidance, your care, and your protection throughout this entire week until this moment. Heavenly Parent, thank you for this wonderful day of Saturday, which is a really special day because we're having and launching our Blessing Fest today. Heavenly Parent, really grateful for this wonderful year you've given to us, Heavenly Parent, in this until this point where we can really offer this to you, Heavenly Parent. We thank you so much for everything you've done for us. We thank you for your continuous guidance and all the support that you've been giving us, Heavenly Parent. Sent your son, Dr. Yong, to America to really guide this elder brother nation into reaching your spiritual realm of any parent, into reaching your heart of any parent. And each and every one of us here is trying really hard to reach you of any parent, but there's so many times where we prioritize other things instead of you of any parent. Please forgive us. Please forgive us for all the times where we hurt you of any parent, all the times we cause sorrow to your heart of any parent. You look at us of any parent with so much love of any parent, that instead of us loving you and appreciating you of any parent, we constantly cause you pain of any parent, but you still continue to love us despite that of any parent. Thank you so much. I pray that for this movement of ours of any parent, that you guided our true parents into founding of any parent. I pray that we may be able to really embrace your heart of any parent and move on with our hearts connected to you of any parent, our hearts united with you of any parent, united with our true mother who's working really hard into bringing this, realizing your kingdom here on earth of any parent. Of any parent, for a while I've been asking myself why mother doesn't smile like she used to, and I realized it's because she's really determined into realizing your history, this kingdom here on earth of any parent, she's really determined into bringing you joy of any parent. She's really determined into bringing all of us, all of your children back to you of any parent, and that's why she's really doing all this despite her old age of any parent. She's working so hard even in this time and period of Corona of any parent. She really wanted to come to America of any parent, but she couldn't have any parent because of the situation of the world of any parent. But despite that, she's really determined. We never put this to an end of any parent. We still moved forward and realized this Blessing Fest of any parent. And I pray on this special day that each and every one of us, all of us who are hosting watch parties, may be all determined and have open hearts of any parent into embracing all the children that will be coming of any parent. I pray that we may spread the word of your blessing of any parent and teach the rest of the world the importance of the blessing of any parent, and teach them about our true parents and future of any parent, and guide each and every one of us into realizing your kingdom of any parent. I pray, thanking you so much for everything. Today, Dr. Yong asked how much we cry for you. Many parent, do we even cry for you? Many parent, please forgive us for always for our selfishness of any parent and our ignorance of any parent. You've been sorrowful for all of history of any parent, yet despite knowing this, we still put other things before you of any parent. I pray that today, with this understanding and knowing all of this, we may be able to get closer to you of any parent and really unite with you, with our true parents and Jesus in the spirit world. I pray, thanking you so much for everything, and I pray for the success of this wonderful day. And I'd like to report this day, this prayer, I'm reporting in my name in the Andra Ngala, that of God, Fene Merangala, Central Blessed Family, Aju.
Unmi, I miss you so much.
I miss you too, Dr. Yong.
Thank you so much for your beautiful prayer. Today, your hair decoration is so beautiful. Today is a blessing festival. I think very much. Anyway, my dear brothers and sisters, even though trauma do not come to, our nation because of certain reason, as you know, please let's do all our absolute best and then create, beautiful our activity and let's return our glory and happiness to our true parents. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless our Unmi. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Unmi, for that one beautiful prayer. And brothers and sisters, thank you all so much for joining today's Morning Heart Devotion. And Dr. Yong, we very much love you, and we want to say thank you for all the heart and love you invest into your guidances. And everyone, we wish you a happy, healthy, and victorious day today. We'll see each other tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Blessing Festival!